According to the group Feeding America, which runs some of the largest food banks in the United States, 1 in 6 American families with children are experiencing food insecurity. By the end of the year, they expect 50 million Americans to be experiencing a food shortage, not having enough to eat on any given day. And that includes 25% of children in the United States. 25% of our kids, according to the available data, will not have enough to eat by the end of this year. And yes, this is caused by the pandemic. This is caused by the recession. The double whammy of that is what has caused this insecurity. These food banks are experiencing massive shortages right now because they simply cannot keep up with demand. We have all seen the photographs of the people lined up for miles and miles and miles in their cars in Texas to get food from the food banks. But it's not just Texas. This is happening in New York. This is happening in Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia. This is all over. This is widespread. This is not, just a couple small little areas. This is, according to Feeding America, nationwide. 50 million Americans, 25% of kids don't have food. Now, here's the messed up thing. This was all. I'm going to say this was all completely avoidable. Any person that went hungry due to the pandemic and the recession that came along with it, that was avoidable. This is a failure of our government. This is a failure of Republicans. This is a failure of Democrats. This is a failure of every single elected official in the United States. If they had given us stimulus, monthly stimulus, to the extent that other countries did for their citizens, we would not be seeing these numbers right now. We would not be seeing these food shortages at the food banks. But they didn't. They turned it into a partisan issue. And this is the situation we're in today because of it. And I understand Republicans share most of the blame, but they do not share all of it. You have to put the blame where it lies. The House of Representatives is controlled by Democrats, by Nancy Pelosi. And sure, Pelosi and Mnuchin and Trump have been working on negotiations. And every time they walked away, they didn't have a deal. Sometimes it was Mnuchin walking away. Sometimes it was Pelosi walking away. But either way, their inability to come together to help the American public is what led to this crisis. And like so many other things in this country, because the federal government cannot help us, they refuse to help us because we're not all corporations, it's up to us to help one another. So Americans have to turn to charity. We turn to charity on healthcare. GoFundMe is now one of the largest healthcare providers, apparently. And we're having to do the same here. And that's what I'm calling on people to do now. And I know it's exceptionally difficult for people because of the recession, but if you have the means to give, please give. Do what you can. People are going hungry. They do not have enough. And as we have seen, the government is not going to do enough or anything at all at this point to actually help them. It is up to us. And I know that's tough and it sucks and it shouldn't be up to us, but it is. So we have to fill in. We have to be the ones to step up. And then by God, when 2022 rolls around, get these people out of office and put in people who actually care. It shouldn't be that hard. But it is because we have the attention spans of a goldfish. The pandemic will get fixed eventually. The economy will come back to a degree, and we'll forget about this. We'll forget about stories like this. We'll forget about the fact that 25% of kids in this country didn't have food. And we'll vote the same damn people in to do the same damn thing next time we hit another crisis.